what's up and happy Sutter Sunday. Obviously you guys have seen the title of this video and I am finally telling a super vulnerable but special and life-changing story for me, and that is my story of how I was 18 and pregnant with my little boy Beckett. I knew when I wanted to start a YouTube channel that this was a story that I absolutely wanted to tell, but was also terrified to tell. For a long time, I wanted to hide my age, not really disclose that I was 19 when I had Beckett, and I was super nervous of what everybody would think about me or if they would think less of me. This past Monday, I had a get together with a couple girls who have stories similar to mine. They were all young and a little unprepared when they had their kids, and so we all totally share in that. I felt inspired from that meeting to kind of sit down and make this video for all the girls. If you're young, or if you were unprepared for a child, or if you're pregnant now, that you are not alone, that you're not less than, and that you have a lot of girls that if you just reach out are ready to stand behind you. 5 years ago in March, which today it is in March now, 5 years ago, I announced to the world that I was having a baby. And that was my very first time being super vulnerable with this story. And this is another chance for me to do that again 5 years later. So we can go ahead and bring it all the way back to 5 years ago and start from the beginning. When I was 18, I started school at Georgia College and State University, GCSU, go Bobcats. I started school and I met Derby on the very first day of school. He lived across the hall from me. It was like instant. We were just like attached at the hip ever since then. Fast forward a little bit to when I actually found out that I was pregnant. Right before that Christmas that year of 2013, my whole family, literally whole extended family, was going on a cruise. Like, I'm talking grandmas, aunts, uncles, everybody. We were all going on a cruise. 2 or 3 nights into it, I woke up in the middle of the night with the most intense nausea I've ever felt in my entire life. And I was like, either this is seasickness, because I had you know, only been on one cruise before that, so it was like, I don't know, I didn't feel it then, but maybe this is seasickness, or this is something else and this is not good. Then I was like, okay, so maybe it'll go away, we'll get off the ship. So it didn't stop. I had this nausea just go on and on and on, to the point where I was like, maybe I'm pregnant. We get off the cruise. I ended up finding out with Derby that I was pregnant, and you know, in that moment when you're 18 and you find out you're pregnant, you think your whole world is going to end. We went to the doctor. Everything was great that first visit, and I remember afterwards, you know, we got the pictures of the ultrasound and all that. I'm having a baby, so I should be excited, right? But nobody wants me to be excited, so I have to be sad and upset that this is happening to me. I was given options that I know a lot of either older pregnant women or married pregnant women are not given. I was told about abortion as an option, adoption as an option, which is great that they told me my options and made me 100% clear on what I was able to do with my pregnancy. But it was sad that nobody said, congratulations, you're having a baby. Everybody just said, you got to figure out what you're gonna do. And for me, in my head, keeping the baby was the only option. And that's what I had my mind set on from the very first day that I found out. Me and Derby were totally on the same page there. So I remember we were leaving the doctor's office, and I was like looking at the ultrasound pictures, and I remember my mom, don't want to get emotional this early in this video, but I remember my mom said, I didn't want this exact thing for you right now, but like the baby's healthy, that's great. And I just said, you know, Mom, I want to be excited. And she said, okay, then we're excited. And from that point on in my pregnancy, she was so excited and there for me. She made sure that I had the pregnancy that I always would have had and dreamt of, no matter what age or marital status I was in life. Then around 12 weeks, we ended up finding out that Beckett was going to have a major surgery immediately after birth. He was going to be in the NICU for a while after he was born. I think when that happened, everybody kind of started to not wonder, oh, is adoption an option? Oh, like, what is she gonna do? What are we gonna do? And it was more like, there's a baby's life at stake, and we are gonna be behind Ellis and Derby, and we are gonna be behind this little baby. I attempted to go back to school in the spring semester, but I ended up leaving halfway through because since I was a high-risk pregnancy, I had to see the doctor way more often. They wanted me to be doing less and kind of just relaxing more. And school, obviously anyone knows college is super, super stressful. I was facing a lot of gossip at the college. Everybody was, you know, giving me the looks like, is she pregnant? I've heard she's pregnant. I would, you know, I had morning sickness, so I would literally throw up in between my classes and pray that nobody would walk into the bathroom and catch me because I wasn't ready for the whole world to know yet. So I was facing a lot of things physically, mentally. College was not the right choice for me. So I decided to come home halfway through the semester, and that definitely relieved me a lot, but it also made the rest of my pregnancy very lonely for me. Friends from college and, you know, my friends from home, they tried their best to give me their support, but there's only so much you can do when you're a long distance friend and you're there in college and you're pregnant and you're totally not in the same page in your lives at all. Derby comes home for the summer. We're kind of gearing up for the baby. I was just 9 months pregnant. So I don't know if you guys are aware of the myth that women are 9 months pregnant when they give birth. No, 9 months pregnant is considered 1 month early and preterm. So 10 months is the real reason. That's a whole different conspiracy theory. I don't know why people are telling people that you're only 9 months pregnant when you're supposed to go 10. But anyways, so I was 36 weeks, 9 months pregnant, and we went in for just our regular appointment just to make sure we were on track, whatever. And my doctor ended up saying, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think my amniotic fluid was getting lower than she liked, and that we would need to deliver the next day. We spent the night, me and Derby, that night, and then the next morning we're prepared for a planned C-section. C-section went totally uncomplicated. They pulled him out. They showed him to me immediately. I was like, I remember the first thing I said to him was like, oh my gosh, Beckett, I love you. Like he was gonna be like, cool, love you too, Mom. I wasn't allowed to hold him, and because, you know, it's a major surgery and you have to be stitched up and everything. And so him, Beckett, and Derby went in an ambulance to Children's Healthcare. So I was at an adult hospital, so they went to a children's hospital for his surgery. And that was definitely the most nerve-wracking couple hours in my life. A few hours later, Derby called me and he told me it went better than the doctors even expected, that they were super excited about how it went, and that Beckett was totally fine. And that is like when I finally had peace, because I had just been consumed with the nerves of the whole day, kind of drugged up, and I didn't really let it all settle in until that night. And I just thought like, wow, like I have a baby now. He's already been through surgery and he's already like the strongest person I know, this little baby. who went through surgery at like 2 hours old. And that just gave me all the strength and courage in the world. Beckett ended up spending 18 days in the NICU, and then he came home to us. Then I started my real, you know, at-home journey, me and Derby, journey of motherhood. I just kind of want to touch on what it was like, you know, what it's been like to be a young mom. I really started to feel the pressures of being a young mom, that I got one too many comments asking me if I was Beckett's sister or his nanny, and they really started to dig at my self-esteem. I thought everything was like I needed to present myself as a mom. So I would literally, I'd go pick out clothes and be like, is this what a mom would wear? I'd cut my hair and say, is my hair too long to be a mom? Which all of these things are absolutely ridiculous to think. There's only one thing in the world that makes you a mom, and that's having a child or caring for a child. There's no other constituents. That's it. You take care of a child, you're a mom. There's no thing that makes you mom enough. And that's what I really struggled with for a while, is that I didn't feel mom enough. I definitely felt like I was looked down upon a lot. Just because you're a mom doesn't mean your youth just goes away. And I thought like I couldn't be, I'm really like a goofy person and a sarcastic person. I thought I couldn't be those if I was gonna be, you know, a perfect mom. And so literally I would like hide my sense of humor and really all these crazy things where like a lot of times I didn't even recognize myself. You know, somewhere along the way, I really started to realize that all these things did not define me. I can be a good wife, I can be a makeup artist, I can be young, I can be funny, I can be stupid, and I can be a mom. And all of these things can coexist, and all of those things should coexist. If you are a young girl, or if you just had an unplanned pregnancy, that just because your story isn't perfect, that it really was perfectly made for you. Because now, 5 years later, I look back and I think, oh my God, if Beckett wasn't born, my life would be so different and not at all how I would want it. If I could really go back and tell that 18-year-old girl that was so scared and didn't know what to do and thought her life was over, that I would say, your life is not over. It is just beginning, and you have no idea the incredible ride that this is going to take you on. The last thing that I wanted to do here in this video was share something that I found a couple months ago, and it is a letter to other young moms or girls that are struggling. And I wanted to end this video by sharing my letter. Let me take you into my life for a little. Now, if you could care less, back out now, because we're getting personal. Okay, here it goes. Freshman year, 18, pregnant, winning combination. Now, in the midst of freaking out, I had to make a decision. Should I do it? Should I change my entire life to have this baby? Should I become a parent when I have absolutely no clue how my own mom does it? But then, of course, as every motherly cliche will tell you, you see the little tiny heartbeat, and every reason why you shouldn't do the whole parenting thing just fades away. So I decided to do it. Jump headfirst into a black hole and hope I make it out on the other side in one piece. But don't get me wrong, it is not always the easy choice. When I was throwing up from morning sickness, crying over everything from my lost childhood to my spilled cheese dip, or staring at the ceiling at 4 in the morning thinking of everything that could go wrong, I thought it sure would be a lot easier to go back to my old life, you know, the one without an alien growing inside of me. But I was doing it nonetheless, and I was proud. And now every time I do something even an inch outside of my comfort zone, I'm proud. So today, take the first step. Go start that business you've been thinking about for years, or finally apply to that school. Prove society wrong and show them how you control your fate. Trust that your story is not over and good things are always coming. And after the rain, the sun always shines. And have so much fun growing up with your baby by your side. Be proud of yourself, radiate self-worth, and just know that you, yes you, are capable of changing the world.